Some 600 years ago, in 1406, when a son of the first Ming Dynasty's emperor Chu Di becomes the Yongle emperor, he decided to move the capital from Nanjing to Beijing. The construction of the Forbidden City then began and was finally completed in 1420. It later becomes the famous Forbidden City. A series of rectangular wall enclosure laid out on a north to south axis, all surrounded by its 8-meter high city wall, and a moat that is 5 meters deep and 52 meters across. The Forbidden City was the former Chinese imperial palace and winter residence of the Emperor of China from the Ming Dynasty all the way to the end of the Qing Dynasty. It was home to a total of 24 emperors and their families between 1420 and 1924. The last occupant, who was also the last emperor of Imperial China, Puyi, was expelled in 1925 when the precinct was transformed into the Palace Museum. In 1987, the Forbidden City was declared a World Heritage Site. For over 500 years, the Forbidden City was the political and ritual center of the Chinese Empire. The palace exemplifies the opulence of the residence of the Chinese emperor and the traditional Chinese palatial architecture. It has influenced cultural and architectural developments in East Asia and elsewhere. Everything from the location of the main building of the north to south axis, the color of the roof and walls, to the numbers of golden nails on the doors, carry symbolic meaning. A series of rectangular wall enclosure laid out on a north to south axis, all surrounded by its 8-meter high city wall, and a moat that is 5 meters deep and 52 meters across. It is 961 meters from north to south and 753 meters from east to west, spread out over 720,000 square meters. The complex consists of 980 buildings encompassing 8,704 rooms. At the four corners of the wall sit towers with intricate roofs boasting 72 ridges, which are the most visible parts of the palace to commoners outside the walls. There is a gate on each side. At the southern end is the main Meridian Gate. To the north is the Gate of Divine Might, which faces Jingshan Pike. The East and West Gate are called the East Glorious Gate and West Glorious Gate. The Central Gateway and the Meridian Gate is part of the Imperial Way, a stone flag path that forms the central axis of the Forbidden City and the ancient city of Beijing itself. Only the emperor may walk or ride on the Imperial Way, except for the empress on the occasion of her wedding and successful students after the imperial examination. The Forbidden City remains important in the civic scheme of Beijing. The central north to south axis remains the central axis of the modern Beijing city. This axis extends to the south through Tiananmen Gate to Tiananmen Square, which is the ceremonial center of today's China. To the north, it extends through Jingshan Hill to the Bell and Drum Towers. The construction of the Forbidden City lasted for 14 years and required more than 1 million workers. Materials used include whole logs of precious Phoebe Jinan wood, found in the jungle of southwestern China, and large blocks of marble from quarries near Beijing. The floors of major halls were paved with golden bricks, especially baked paving bricks from Suzhou. By October 1644, the Manchus proclaimed the young Shunzhi Emperor as the ruler of China under the Qing dynasty in the Forbidden City. The Qing rulers changed the name on some of the principal buildings to emphasize harmony rather than supremacy. He also made the name plates bilingual in Chinese and Manchu and introduced shamanist elements to the palace. After being the home of 24 emperors, 14 of the Ming Dynasty and 10 of the Qing Dynasty, the Forbidden City ceased being the political center of China in 1912 with the abdication of Puyi, the last emperor of China. Under an agreement with the new Republic of China government, Puyi remained in the inner court, while the outer court was given over for public use, until he was evicted after a coup in 1924. The Palace Museum was then established in the Forbidden City in 1925. Traditionally, the Forbidden City is divided into two parts. It has the outer court, or front court, which includes the southern sections and was used for ceremonial purpose, and also the inner court, or back palace, which includes the northern sections. It was the residence of the emperor and his family, and was used for day-to-day affairs of state. If you look at a map of the Forbidden City, you'll find a gate from the very south in the middle. That is the largest and the main gate to enter the Forbidden City. It is called Meridian Gate. The gate was built in 1420 with an overall height of 38 meters. It is the highest of the 4 city gates. 5 passages led through the Meridian Gate, 3 central passages and 2 side passages. The central passage was reserved for the emperor. The only exception were the empress, who would enter through it once a lifetime on the day of her wedding. The top 3 graduates of the palace examination could exit from the imperial palace through the central passage after the result of the examination were announced. The gate on the eastern side was used by the civil and military officials, while the members of the imperial family, prince and the dukes, used the western gate. The 2 side gates were open only during the grand celebrations. Each year, on the first day of the 10th lunar month, the lunar calendar for the following year was issued in a ceremony at the Meridian Gate. In times of war, the ceremony of presenting captives to the emperor would also be held here to mark the army's triumphant return. During the Ming Dynasty, the Meridian Gate was also the site of the court flogging, a punishment imposed by the emperor on high officials. Entering from the Meridian Gate, one encounters a large square, pierced by the meandering inner Golden Water River, which is crossed by 5 bridges. Beyond the square stands the Gate of Supreme Harmony. Behind that is the Hall of Supreme Harmony Square. A 3-tier wide marble terrace rises from the square. 3 halls stand on the top of this terrace, the focus of this palace complex. From the south, these are Hall of Supreme Harmony, the Hall of Central Harmony, and the Hall of Preserving Harmony.